We all know that budgeting is crucial for building wealth and achieving financial freedom. With all the budgeting advice out there, which one is best for you? Which one are you likely to stick to? Should you track every penny? Ditch the budget altogether? Today I will walk you through how to choose the best budgeting tool for you. We're diving into 10 powerful budgeting strategies inspired by famous finance books. I will break down each method, explore its pros and cons, and help you figure out which one is the perfect fit for your lifestyle and financial goals. So, if you're ready to unlock your budgeting potential and start building real wealth, hit that like button, and let's get started. If you struggle with overspending and you tend to go over budget, or if you want to put the least amount of time and effort into the budgeting process, then the anti-budgeting strategy in the book, I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi is right for you. Instead of meticulously tracking every expense, you focus on setting up systems that do the heavy lifting for you. First, determine how much you will put into savings and how much you need for bills, allocate some money for investing and the rest for free spending. Set up a recurring transfer from your checking account to your investing and savings account the moment you get paid. Treat it like a non-negotiable expense. Then, automate your bills. Then, use the rest of your income guilt-free. This will mean minimal tracking. The anti-budget encourages automation and discipline for those that struggle with sticking to their budget. Be careful not to overspend your discretionary funds and run out before the next pay period. If you're looking for a more hands-off and flexible approach to budgeting, the anti-budget is all about simplifying your finances and putting your budgeting on autopilot. If you prefer a tangible approach to controlling your spending, the envelope budgeting system from the Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey might be your best fit. At the beginning of the month, you allocate a predetermined amount of cash to your different spending categories. The idea is simple. Divide your cash into different envelopes, each designated for a specific spending category. Label each envelope for specific categories like groceries, entertainment, or transportation. Spend only what's in each envelope. Once an envelope is empty, that's it. You're done spending in that category for the month. It is simple, effective, and keeps you acutely aware of your spending. To get started, list your monthly expenses and assign a budget for each category. Withdraw cash for each category and place it in a labeled envelope. Spend directly from the envelopes and stop when the money runs out. This method helps you stick to your limits and avoid overspending by making money more tangible. But, in today's cashless society, it might feel inconvenient, and it requires discipline to track consistently. This is perfect if you are a hands-on individual who enjoys structure and direct control over your spending. This tangible approach to budgeting forces you to make conscious spending decisions and prevents you from overspending in certain areas. The act of physically handing over cash makes the transaction more real. This strategy is helpful if you're someone who struggles with overspending. If you want complete control over your finances, the zero-based budget from the Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey is for you. The concept is to assign every single dollar of your income to a specific purpose, leaving zero unallocated dollars. This ensures that every penny is accounted for and no money goes to waste. This means accounting for everything: your rent or mortgage, groceries, transportation, savings goals, and even that daily cup of coffee. To get started, list all your income sources and monthly expenses. Allocate every dollar to a purpose. Adjust as needed to ensure every dollar is assigned. This approach gives you full awareness of where your money is going and helps reduce mindless spending, and ensures that your spending aligns with your values and financial goals. However, it can be time-consuming and requires regular updates to stay on track. If you are a detail-oriented individual and want to eliminate financial waste, the zero-based budget is for you. Now let's look at reverse budgeting. The core principle of reverse budgeting is simple. You pay yourself first. Instead of budgeting what's left over after covering expenses, you determine your budgeting goal for the month and automate a transfer to your savings or investment accounts as soon as you receive your paycheck. By treating saving and investing as non-negotiable expenses, you're essentially flipping the traditional budgeting model on its head. You're prioritizing your future self and ensuring that you're consistently making progress towards your financial goals. Now, reverse budgeting might require some initial planning and adjustment, especially if you're used to a more traditional budgeting approach. If you're looking for a simple yet powerful way to prioritize your budgeting, reverse budgeting could be the perfect fit for you. Let's explore a budgeting approach that's all about simplicity and ease of use: the one-number budget. The core principle of the one-number budget is to focus on one key number: how much you can spend daily, weekly, or monthly after covering your fixed expenses. This number becomes your spending limit, and as long as you stay within that limit, you're good to go. The beauty of this approach is that it eliminates the need for detailed budgeting categories or tracking every single expense. To determine your magic number, start by calculating your monthly income and subtracting your fixed expenses, such as rent or mortgage payments, utilities, and debt payments. Then, subtract your target savings and investing amount. The one-number budget is all about finding a balance between financial responsibility and enjoying life's simple pleasures. The Kakeibo Method is a traditional Japanese system that encourages journaling your income and expenses while reflecting on your spending habits. It involves tracking your expenses meticulously and reflecting on your budget at the end of each day, week, or month. To get started, write down your income and expenses. Categorize spending into needs, wants, culture, and unexpected costs. Reflect periodically on areas to reduce spending. This approach helps you understand your emotional triggers for spending and encourages mindful habits. However, it requires dedication to consistently journal. It encourages you to ask yourself key questions before making a purchase, such as, do I really need this? Can I afford this? And will this purchase fit into my budget? If you are a reflective individual who wants a mindful approach to budgeting that helps you identify areas where you might be overspending or making impulsive purchases, this is the budget strategy for you. Let's dive into a budgeting approach inspired by the Pareto principle, also known as the 80-20 rule. This method encourages you to focus your energy on the 20% of budgeting actions that produce 80% of the results, maximizing your financial efficiency. In the context of budgeting, the 80-20 rule suggests that roughly 80% of your financial outcomes are driven by 20% of your budgeting and spending habits. The first step is to identify the 20% of your budgeting that's having the biggest impact on your financial plan. To get started, identify key expenses that significantly affect your budget. Cut unnecessary costs or optimize high-impact areas like housing or transportation. Use the freed-up money for savings or goals. The 80-20th rule budget is for all my analytical thinkers. If you value efficiency, you will thrive with this approach. No budgeting discussion is complete without talking about delayed gratification. If impulse spending is your weakness, the 30-day rule budget from The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas J. Stanley and William D. Danko is a game changer. The premise of the 30-day rule budget is simple. Whenever you're tempted to make a discretionary purchase, something you want but don't necessarily need, you impose a mandatory 30-day waiting period to evaluate their importance. This means that instead of immediately buying the item, you add it to a 30-day list and wait for a month before making a decision. During that 30-day period, you can ask yourself some key questions. Do I still really want this item? Can I afford it without jeopardizing my other financial plans? And is there a more affordable alternative? This waiting period serves as a cooling-off period, allowing you to separate your initial desire from a genuine need. The 30-day rule budget is all about being more intentional with your spending and ensuring that your purchases align with your values and long-term financial plans. People who will do well on this budget are usually disciplined and thoughtful decision-makers who want to avoid unnecessary purchases. Let's explore a budgeting approach that strikes a balance between financial responsibility and enjoying life's pleasures, the 60% solution budget. This method provides a clear framework for allocating your income, ensuring that you're covering your essential expenses, budgeting for the future, and still having some fun money left over. Allocate 60% of your income to fixed expenses like housing and food, and the remaining 40% to savings, fun, and retirement. The 60% solution budget involves dividing your after-tax income into 4 main categories. Commitments, which take up 60% of your income. This category includes all your essential expenses, such as rent or mortgage payments, utilities, groceries, transportation, and debt payments. 10% goes to your savings, which includes your short-term and long-term budgeting goals, such as building an emergency fund, saving for a down payment on a house, or investing for retirement. Fun money is another 10% of your income. This category is all about enjoying life's simple pleasures, guilt-free. The beauty of the 60% solution budget is that it provides a clear and easy-to-follow framework for managing your money. It may not work well if you're managing high debt loads. However, those seeking a balanced and straightforward budgeting approach will benefit from this method. Let's wrap things up with a budgeting approach that emphasizes mindful spending and prioritizing what truly matters. Needs-based budgeting from the Money Book for the Young, Fabulous and Broke by Suze Orman. First step is to focus on prioritizing essentials. Categorize expenses into absolute needs versus wants. Allocate funds to needs first. Cut back on wants. Reevaluate spending monthly. This strategy helps cut unnecessary expenses but might feel restrictive for some. Individuals managing tight budgets or financial constraints will find this method practical. This means prioritizing spending on things like housing, food, transportation, and healthcare, before allocating funds to discretionary expenses like entertainment, dining out, or travel. So there you have it, 10 powerful budgeting strategies from some of the most popular finance books out there. Remember, there's no one-size-fits-all approach to budgeting. The key is to find a system that you can stick with, that helps you feel in control of your finances, and that ultimately helps you build wealth and achieve your financial goals. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more videos like this one. And be sure to let me know in the comments down below which budgeting strategy you're going to try out.